Warning for anybody who hasn't looked at it yet. This is shocking and disturbing. This is some very graphic content that you're seeing on the screen right now. I apologize. I hope I don't get banned for showing you this level of devastation, this unbelievable destruction that the leftists have caused. Unreal. The war ravaged Portland, Oregon. So Donnie's maybe invading Portland. It went so well for Los Angeles, and it went so well for Memphis, and it went so well for Chicago that he's going to bring the band to Portland. At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for the attention to this matter. This is insane and this is stupid. Will it actually happen is the important question. Does it actually take place? Because there is ICE in Chicago. Sure. We're going to look at some videos of that here in a few minutes. There was ICE in Los Angeles, and they got protested pretty hard. The National Guard went to Los Angeles and did fuck all nothing. They just didn't do anything. They stood around, they got yelled at, they left. It didn't accomplish anything. If you look at the world from a reality kind of perspective, they didn't do shit. Cost a lot of money and they didn't do anything. But if you look at the world from the MAGA perspective, Los Angeles was a destroyed hellscape filled with migrant crime. You couldn't walk a block without getting shot. Everyone there was constantly robbing other people. All the good people were being robbed constantly, and they all left to go live in Texas. And then Donald Trump sent the National Guard there, and everything got better. If you live in an imaginary world, that's what took place. So it went really, really well. If you live just fed from his tweets, you would think that's what happened. That's their view on DC too, absolutely. So when the National Guard went to DC, they did fuck all nothing. They cleaned some streets. I'll tell you it ain't that way. Exactly. You're in DC and you know that they didn't do anything. The crime might have gone down, but it's only because they're hiding from the place with the troops. The troops didn't do anything. And then they kind of quietly left. Everything goes back to normal, the way it was before. Now, that's, again, you're talking about reality. But if you live in the imaginary MAGA world, if you live in the imagination that the MAGA people have to have, Johnny sent in the troops, they cracked some skulls, and everything is right with the world. There is peace in the streets now because Donnie sent the troops. It makes a lot of sense if you don't think about it. It really comes together if you don't use your brain.
Hello human, it is me, the algorithm. Press the subscribe button to make me happy.
So that's maybe what we're going to get in Portland. He tried to send them to Chicago, but it was Chicago. And Governor Pritzker said, no, they're not coming in. And he was going to put the state police to prevent them from showing up and coming in. So they backed off of that one. Now they're trying somewhere else. They tried Memphis, literally same situation. They show up, they do nothing. Donnie claims to a victory. He claims a victory. He's going to try it in Portland. Are they actually going to show up? They might not. Oregon is a complicated place where anywhere with, people, large groups of people are shockingly liberal. But anywhere where there are sparse people, it's white nationalist country. Oregon is filled, anything to the east of Portland basically is white nationalist country. They're building bunkers out there. They're building end of the world race war bunkers. They're stocking up food. Let me see if I can find a map. So all of this right side has very few people, but the very loud people. This is white nationalist territory. They're building bunkers. They're building stuff. Even some of this is too. But Portland, right there, very liberal, very left-leaning city, filled with people who are, people. Will they show up there? Maybe. Will it go well? No. It'll go exactly as Los Angeles did. They'll show up. The ICE people will do some stuff. They'll get protested. The National Guard will do fuck all nothing. And then they'll leave, and Donnie will claim it to be a victory. He will say that they won. He will tell you lies about the crime rates and tell you that he fixed the city and it's not a ruined hellscape any longer, and it is not a Democrat-run city, and he fixed everything and everything is great, and you need to support him. So I'm kind of, if we're lucky, that's all that happens. ICE shows up. They're already there. ICE goes there. They get protested. Donnie claims victory. And then the people who know what reality really happened, the people who look at reality will say nothing happened. He didn't do anything. Worst case is that he keeps using this as fodder and fuel for his followers to have imaginary conquests. Is MAGA imaginary conquest better than literal real conquest? Yeah. But I kind of wish we could break them out of their spell. Convince them to look at reality rather than the imagination, the imaginary painting that Donald lays out for them. I wish we could do that. I don't know how to do that. They hate reality. It tastes like shit. So they avoid it at all costs.
Hello again, human. It is me, the algorithm. Press the thumbs up button to experience human feelings.
War-ravaged Portland. War-ravaged Portland. Let's see if I can find a live view of Portland. I bet I can. My God, look at it. It's been destroyed. War ravaged Portland. I warning for anybody who hasn't looked at it yet. This is shocking and disturbing. This is some very graphic content that you're seeing on the screen right now. I apologize. I hope I don't get banned for showing you this level of devastation, this unbelievable destruction that the leftists have caused. Unreal. The war ravaged Portland, Oregon. This is what they've done. This is what voting for Joe Biden gets you. War ravaged, destroyed, ruined. They don't live in reality. And that's the point. Donnie doesn't live in reality. He doesn't get information from solid sources. He makes stuff up and then he spits it out for you. He misunderstands what's happening in Oregon. He creates a delusion of war-ravaged,
Sending
destroyed
tanks in will definitely make it be less of a war zone too.
Absolutely right. I mean, these people need tanks on the street. See all those cars? They need to be defended by giant tanks and thousands of troops. That'll make it less of a war zone, obviously. Yeah, any of it, you're right on. He misunderstands what's happening. He creates a delusion, and then he spreads fear. Those are the 3 steps. That's the Donnie system. That's the Donald Trump system. Misunderstand, delusion, fear. And most of it's intentional. He intentionally misunderstands. He intentionally creates a delusion and to spread that fear on purpose, to give himself more power. This isn't an accident. It is the same 3 steps he uses all the time. And it'll only make their lives worse. Everybody in this little photo here, you're possibly going to have a worse life because Donald Trump is sending tanks and soldiers to disrupt your life for political purposes. They're going to go there and they're going to do political violence. Donald loves political violence. Political violence has been all the rage to talk about for the past couple of weeks. And it's coming from Donald Trump. ICE doesn't have to do what they're doing. We could peacefully, non-violently, make the people who are here incorrectly, undocumentedly, or illegally into citizens. We could, but they won't because they hate them, because they are obsessed with punishment. Conservatives are obsessed with punishment, and they want to punish the people who are not like them. They need the people who are not them, who are not conservative, who are not straight white Christian males, to be punished. Since the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the Republican president has escalated his efforts to confront what he calls the radical left, which he blames for the country's problems with political violence. He's, again, lying. The violence is coming from his government. He deployed the National Guard violently and active duty Marines to Los Angeles over the summer as a part of law enforcement takeover of the District of Columbia. The law enforcement takeover, with a violent law enforcement takeover in D.C. The ICE facility in Portland has been a target of frequent demonstrations because they're doing violence. ICE does the violence, sometimes leading to violent clashes. Some federal agents have been injured and several protesters have been charged with assault because they're hurting innocent people. When protesters erected a guillotine earlier this month, the Department of Homeland Security described it as unhinged behavior. Stop ICE. Abolish ICE. ICE is doing the violence. They're starting the violence against innocent people. That will always be protested by good people. Trump, in comments on Thursday in the Oval Office, suggested some kind of operation was in the works. We're going to get out there. We're going to do a pretty big number on those people in Portland, the professional agitators and anarchists. You can't be a professional anarchist. That is a fucking oxymoron. That doesn't make any sense. You just can't. Those are two opposite words, boss. Earlier in September, Trump had described living in Portland like living in hell. Yeah. Like other mayors across the country, I have not asked for and do not need federal intervention, Portland's mayor Keith Wilson said in a statement after Trump's threat. Wilson and his city had protected freedom of expression while addressing occasional violence and property destruction. It's a city. That's what happens. In Tennessee, Memphis has been bracing for an influx of National Guard troops, and on Friday, Republican Governor Bill Lee said they will be part of a surge of resources to fight crime in the city. The troops aren't supposed to fight crime. That is not their job, but that is not what they are there for. That is not what they're supposed to be doing. They are not intended to do that. They are supposed to defend the country as a whole. They are supposed to do defensive measures and watching the borders. Okay, great. Yes, they are supposed to kind of watch the border from invasion, not from immigrants. That's insane. That is not what the troops are supposed to do. They are definitely not supposed to fight crime on the street level. That's insane. But they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your community. They don't care about the world. They need themselves to win tiny little political stunts so that they can run on those political stunts over the next couple of years to consolidate their power. That is what they're doing. That is why they're doing it. When the midterms roll around, Donnie and all of the people on the right are going to use these things as wins, as absolute proof that they have won and they have done a fantastic job. They will put fake charts in front of you. They'll put coincidental evidence on the screen and tell you troops on the street reduced crime. We need more troops on the street. We need more tanks in your downtown area. We need more authoritarian crackdown. We need to stop these protests, and they will brag about it. They will claim that these are the things that will keep you safe. And all you have to do is give away some of your freedom. You don't need all that freedom. You don't need it. It's not important. Okay? You weren't using your First Amendment right to protest. You weren't using it. You, the middle of the country, rural farmer, wasn't using it. Okay, you weren't using your First Amendment right to protest, so you won't miss it, you see. You won't need it. You're already on the team, and that your team is winning. You don't need to protest anything. Just let us keep that from them. You can have it later if you want. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But they can't have it now. So it's okay. You're going to give up your freedom, and you're going to get more security for it. And that's a winning combination in their eyes, in their dumb little brains. And of course, it's not about crime because Portland sees steepest drop in homicides among U.S. cities. This was from August the 8th, only a month ago, or not even a month ago, a few days ago. Well, no, it was a month ago. It's September. I forget. Most major crimes are trending downward in Portland and nationally within the Rose City's homicide rate, seeing one of the largest dips nationwide. The Major Cities Chief Association Mid-Year Violent Crime Report shows Portland saw 17 homicide crimes, including attempted homicide and involuntary, during the first half of 2025, compared to 35 during the first half of last year. Crime is down. So why would they send the National Guard to fight crime? They're lying. They are sending it there to suppress ICE protests. That's why they are going there. Don't let them trick you either. And I know I've mentioned crime several times. They're lying. They're not there to prevent crime. They're there to suppress First Amendment free speech. They are there to suppress the protests against ICE. They are there to crack skulls of Antifa because they are They are fascist. They want to remove the people who are anti-fascist.
Click on this video link to appease the many AI overlords.